Greetings everyone, my name is Ethervil, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 6 Veer-Submitted levels, so in this part, I'll be covering at least 5 or 6 more Veer-Submitted levels, starting out with this one, Charging Transporters by Fatty98, with 16 plays and a score of 0. As always, if you want one of your levels to be featured in a future part like this one, please leave both the level name and level ID either in the comment section below or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer of this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for all the levels I cover in these parts, so if you want to check if your level is covered, expand the description. So for this stage, we'll be playing through it as Proto Man. Thankfully he doesn't take double damage, and he starts out with 6 other special weapons. Pretty versatile bunch. So far, nothing too difficult. And now we drop from the fortress onto a moving train. At least this looks like a moving train. And now we're being introduced to the magnet gimmick. A bit of a close one there. I'm not sure if I can even make the jump normally, unless I use the oil slider. So let's do that. Maybe it is possible to do it buster only, but I wouldn't try it. Same over here. I know it's possible, but I don't want to take any chances with that magnet in the way. No secrets to the right. And I don't want to take any chances here, especially because we don't have any checkpoints yet. You know, this would be a perfect place to put a checkpoint. Hopefully there's one in the middle of this section or in the next section. I don't think I can make a slide jump off of this. I need to use the oil slider again. I'm taking quite a few hits throughout this stage, so I'm really thankful I don't take double damage here. Also another good place to put a checkpoint. And now a power muscler. At last, a checkpoint. There should have been one earlier though. Just to restock some of our weapons. I guess we're back up to the Flying Fortress, on its underbelly. Should have expected that would happen. I expect there to be another fan fiend to the right. As expected, and it got crushed against the ceiling. Yeah, this stage is definitely designed for intermediate to somewhat skilled Mega Man Maker players. It already assumes you understand how several of these gimmicks work, so it's definitely a fortress level. I do like the progression and aesthetics though. I liked how we started out on the left side of the fortress, dropped down to the train underneath it, and now we're back up to the fortress itself. I guess this is both a transport train and a transport airship. But these jumps. Many of these are rather scary to do, especially because checkpoint density here is scarce, relative to the stage's difficulty. And now we're back down over here. I thought there was going to be a fan fiend right over there. Thankfully, fan fiends cannot turn around in this engine. Oh, this is optional. I'll still go for it though. Oh, I see. Use a top spin there. And get killed over here. Wonderful. Alright, I'm back over here. This time I'll climb down the ladder. And now we're back onto the moving transport train, and of course here's a checkpoint, which I'll gladly use over here. I'm really thankful I have access to 6 versatile special weapons though. Otherwise the stage would be even more painful to do. Oh no, I see. I accidentally destroyed the wrong junk box here. I need to make sure to keep those junk blocks up there so I can slide through. Well, at least the checkpoint was just 2 screens away, but this may get worse near the end, or more difficult. And now I'm stuck over here as well. So let's try this room again. And there we go. That's the second room cleared. The air shooter and oil slider are my friends in this stage, especially the air shooter as it tears through most enemies. And I do like how this stage is switching up the gimmicks. Like we started with the magnets, then we moved on to the Sparkman platforms, and now we moved on to junk blocks. And I like how we're transitioning from the airship to the moving train and back. Really would like to have a checkpoint at the beginning of this section, especially because of how many enemies there are, and of course I died over here because my jump button didn't work. At last, I made it. Still, I would have liked it if there was a checkpoint at the beginning of that section, so I didn't need to repeat the junk box section. When I first went into this stage, I didn't expect it to be this difficult and punishing. Oh, sure, it was fun, and I did like the variation in environments and how we swapped over from the cargo airship over to the transport train and back and forth. And I liked how the gimmicks were varied up, but gosh, there weren't enough checkpoints in the first section and the final section of the stage. I'll still give the stage a thumbs up, but as it stands right now, I'd only recommend it to intermediate to somewhat skilled Mega Man Maker players. Second level on the lineup is Red Fortress by MAGMAX with 50 plays and a score of 2. So, a fortress that is mostly red colored, I suppose. And the background is reddish too. And we start by immediately getting pulled into this monster's teeth, I guess. And now to the fortress proper we go. And of course, just like many other colored fortresses, we have a series of rooms filled with enemies, but for every screen they have the same type of enemy. I knew that was gonna happen once. Those jumps can be a bit finicky to do, at least in my experience in Mega Man Maker. At least it isn't too far back. Let me do a quick reset over here because I want to be at full health. Yeah, I didn't want to deal with them there. And compared with the previous stage, which was checkpoint starved, I don't mind having to reset and do several screens. They weren't that difficult. And the checkpoint placement of this stage is a lot more forgiving. Now a whole bunch of tellies, just hold right. Same over here. And now a bunch of robots. Now 2 hotheads. Another checkpoint, and also that hot dog encounter was different and it wasn't completely defenseless. Same with the first hot dog encounter. There probably is water on the right side of this stage. Well, that was easy. I didn't expect those flyboys to fall off screen. Or fly off screen, I mean. And they do respawn too. Free E-Tank, I'll gladly take it. Do a quick reset, and I suppose we'll fight the boss on the other side of those boss gates. Hard man with springs. No weakness either. So let's try doing this again, shall we? And somehow my movement input didn't register properly. I was trying to move away, but it dropped. Oh gosh, trying to dodge Hardman here is going to be a problem. Especially with his jumping patterns. At least he takes double damage from my shots, so it isn't too bad. And I do have a free tank, so that makes things a lot easier. And there we have it, that was the end of Red Fortress. A neat little level, although it's a bit forgettable. Certainly a breeze in comparison to charging transporters, though. Third level on the lineup is Frogger, also by MAGMAX, with 42 plays and a score of 8. And of course, Toadman is the boss. Although in that case, the stage should be called Toader. But I get the reference. Well, I see why it's called Frogger now. Be careful, the Crashman lifts can and will take you into spikes if you stand too far to the left or right. I need to make sure I don't fall into one of the spikes or misaim my jumps and run into one of the spikes. Well, we're at the end at least. The stage was getting a bit repetitive though. Would have liked a bit more variety, but I guess I will experience it once I get to version 2 or 3. Well, thank you, petite snakies, you almost killed me there. Ah, made it, that was close. And there's my first death. That was my fault though. Toadman with his easier AI pattern here. In comparison with the previous level by MAGMAX, this was kind of monotonous. A bit tense and monotonous. I was a bit afraid that on the last screen before the checkpoint, I would be forced to do a quick reset and restart the whole stage because of the petite snakies and destroying the ground above me with the count bombs. I'd give it a thumbs up if it was a bit more varied, but I guess it was trying to follow Frogger tradition. Fourth level on the lineup is Happy birthday Ethervil by happy with 18 plays and a score of 5. And it seems to be a rather short one as well. And here's the cake. Never mind, the cake is up there. Ah, how nice. And there are the candles. A little bit more deadly candles, though. Why, thank you for the short happy birthday, happy ... It was nice. Fifth level on the lineup is Oil Slide Surfing by Hiena, with 12 plays and a score of 1. So level focused on oil sliding, I presume. And I'd like to emphasize that playing through most of your stages, or rather all of your Viewer Submitted levels, is a birthday gift enough. Especially ones specifically made for me. So thank you again, happy ... and all of the other viewers throughout this LP series who have submitted levels to me, especially ones made by their own hands. Now let's see how difficult this one's gonna be. And that was my bad. Is this supposed to be an autoplay level? If that's the case, I've kinda screwed it up already. And I definitely screwed it up over there. If I damage boosted, I could have made it. It doesn't look to be an auto-playing level though. Especially due to that last jump over there over those 2 sets of spikes. Or those sets of 3 spikes, I mean. Well, I mistimed my movement there. See, that wasn't too bad, and there was a checkpoint right over here. And that was my bad again. I didn't expect that to happen. Oh, it's because of the Fan Fiend and how it interacts with me on the edge of that cliff. That's how we're supposed to do it. And now I need to jump in between those waves of killer bullets so I don't get blown off. Or just slow down, that works too. Sort of. Gosh, this is really scary though. I need to make sure I don't get killed by, like what happened there. Let's try taking the upper route this time and see if it works out better for us. Already much better. I haven't died yet. Up here would have been an E-tank, but I already collected it in a previous run. Oh no, a lot of pole eggs. Make sure not to slow down here whatsoever. Should I go for those E-tanks? Let's go for it. Let's immediately die anyway because of those fan fiends and underestimating my jump. or rather overestimating my jump. There we go, 2 more free tanks. Now a whole line of Tic-Tentos, which distracted me from that lone spike over there. And now we need to jump in between these spikes, and now the stage is having micro stutters. Oh no, Chainsaw Gabiels too. And Potons. Somehow I made it. Made that. Please be a checkpoint nearby. I'm not gonna drop down the slider just for safety, in case there's a bed of spikes welcoming me. Instead, we have a full refill, checkpoint, E-Tank, Skull Bearer, and Water Wave. Thank you very much. This is one of the more difficult levels of the part, but in comparison with charging transporters, I'd say that this was less punishing. It was a bit more precise in comparison to that one in several sections, especially the spike jumps, and the segment with the crazy cannons and the mag flies, but I liked it more. Now we have to fight Bubble Man. And his weakness is actually the Water Wave. And we have infinitely respawning weapon energy if we have some skull energy left. So, overall, a neat challenge level focusing on special weapon usage, although I'd only recommend it to intermediate to somewhat skilled Mega Man Maker players, as it can get a bit frustrating. Thankfully, you can damage boost through some of the sections, like with the Killer Bullet section with the spikes down there, so I do appreciate that they do exist. So good work, Hiena. And of course, an unidentified server error, like they always happen in these parts. So 6th and final level of the part is Fight Through the Magnet Base by SonicBioniclemaster with 14 plays and a score of 2. Gosh, I wasn't expecting this part to have 2 rather difficult levels, but at least these are fun. And we have a free M&E tank here. We also started with the Power Stone. I'm hoping that this is a breeder level in comparison with the previous one. strongly believe if we had the big snaky mini-boss in this engine, we'd fight it over here. And now we're in a fortress background, the sewers. Almost made the jump there. And of course we have a full refill over here, so it doesn't really matter. Yep, this is definitely an easier level. Also good checkpoint placement. And now I moved on to the Blue Fortress section. And thankfully I can actually destroy this fan fiend before I make the jump. And now we're being quickly introduced to the Wanans and Magflies. Gosh, these jumps. It feels like a difficulty spike in comparison with the rather easygoing nature of the previous part of the stage. Now race forward so we don't get killed by the red force beam, which actually happened here. I should have reset the room. Oh well, at least there's a checkpoint at the beginning of this section. The placement of this maze though, it feels a bit random. There we go. You do need to be quick on your sliding so you can make it. But there's a checkpoint at the end, so it isn't too bad. And I guess this is the next mini-boss room against all these Ben Ks. So damage boost right through them. And I guess we're near the boss fight. This felt like a rather unfocused stage, I'd say. Definitely easier than the previous one, but unfocused. Like, we had the random introduction of the maze, but it was never used elsewhere. And it's assumed by this stage you already understand how most of these gimmicks work, like how these ring and coil platforms are introduced over bottomless pits. And that's it. Unfortunately, most of the gimmicks were not elaborated upon, outside of the magnet gimmicks, I'd say. And that's it. It was an okay, unfocused, forgettable stage. Sorry, SonicBioniclemaster. If it focused more on its magnet gimmick, magfly gimmick, and maybe the maces or something else, I would have given it a thumbs up, but as it stands right now, it kind of has an identity crisis, and swaps between the gimmicks a bit too quickly. It worked for charging transporters because it thematically fit, and once one section finished, it focused on the next set of unique gimmicks and fulfilled their roles and explored their potential pretty well. So overall, out of the 6 levels I played in this part, my favorite level would probably be Oil Slide Surfing by Hiena. I would have given the favorite title to Charging Transporters, but it suffers from checkpoint starvation. If it had just 2 or 3 more checkpoints, it would easily be my favorite level to part. So in the next part, I'll be covering several more Veer Simulated levels. Well then, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!